All right, what's up, y'all? It's your girl saying we are back with the final part of Young Don challenging Destiny on Biblical Hell, and we are picking up with Ozzy telling us the story of Job. Let's go ahead and get into it.
He was as endearing and faithful to God as possible until he broke.
Whoa, you
And
don't know
then
the
God
story of
came to
Job.
him.
It sounds like
Until he broke.
that is not what happened. Job was one of God's most loyal and obedient servants. One
Yeah.
day, the devil approached God and said that the only reason why Job is faithful to you is because you have blessed him heavily, as Stephen is suggesting, right? He was a faithful person and God blessed him heavily. And the devil then said, if we were to remove all of these blessings, I promise you that he would curse you and he would forsake you. And then God said, go ahead. Remove all of his blessings. The only things you cannot do, you cannot kill him. And then the devil goes and pretty much strips him of everything. He was a fairly wealthy man. He had children. He had cattle. He lost everything, became diseased, and and theologians have calculated that period of tribulation that Job was under lasted between 2 and 4 years. The entire time, he continued to praise and worship God. If the whole idea is you praise and worship and be obedient to God, so I will see rewards in this world, what do you think would happen to a man's faith after doing that for 3 months?
Wait,
6
hold on.
months?
How did the story of Job end?
He was
That's what I was trying to bring up.
No, wait, hold on, wait, I want
How you was trying to bring up my man. You was like, oh yeah, he broke. That's not the story at all. Let me remind y'all, just a quick refresher. This man runs a church and does not know the story of Job. Okay, let's get back into it.
to hear the answer. How did the story of Job end?
The story of Job end is that God returned onto him multiple fold what he lost.
Is that not like literally a parable for what it means to live a godly life? That there might be sacrifices that you have to make. For instance, you might have to forgo some material wealth. You might have to forgo hooking up with a lot of women, but that the reward at the end for living a godly life will be twice fold as good as it would have been living the materialistic life otherwise. I feel like Job is the perfect illustration of this.
It wasn't a parable, right? The Bible proposes this as an historical accounting of something.
Sure,
that
regardless
actually
historical or not. Is that
Second-
not the lesson we ought to take from that, though?
I mean, you can take multiple lessons from it, Stephen. The point I am making, however, though, is if your faith is contingent on your life getting better, the reason why a lot of Christians fall away is because their life does. Yes, you become Christian. My life has become better in several ways as a result of becoming Christian, right? Yes, it's hurt my career in some aspect, but it's also benefited me in a lot of other aspects. And so that's great. But my point is, if your basis of being Christian is contingent on seeing rewards for obedience, i.e. a works-based salvation, right? Then karma-based salvation, right? Then when you go through times of tribulation, and also you're looking at like American Christians. There are Christians that are getting their heads cut off. There are Christians under constant persecution in the Middle East. Who do not get that reward that you would anticipate they get in life. They would be much better off forsaking God and pledging allegiance to Allah, for instance, in certain regions, and then they wouldn't be under persecution anymore.
Also, just to cut back in, going by Destiny's view of it, you have to remember this is an atheist. So I mean, I'm not going to have an atheist teach me how to be a Christian. That don't even make sense. I don't care how much you used to practice it. You don't practice it anymore. So you can't even tell me how to properly do anything right because you're not doing nothing right. But even outside of that, to sit there and be like, doesn't your life get better and blah, blah, blah. There's literally people who live in the hood in trailer parks and stuff like that can be religious their whole life and do everything they're supposed to do, and their quality of life stays that way. Where's the reward for them if that's the case? If you are going to sit here and tell me, oh, you're rewarded for following him, blah, blah, blah. On a material level, no, these people were never rewarded, but yet they still put all their faith and trust in God. Because they believe and they know what's at stake for them after the fact. That is why you teach both the loving side of it and the consequence side of it, which is hell. You got to teach both. I don't know why they keep trying to say, like, you're going to scare people away. They didn't want to do it in the first place. If that's their excuse for not wanting to learn, that's their excuse. When people are ready to come over, just like how I was ready to come over, you will come over. The Holy Spirit will put a hold on you, and you will come over no matter what. Nothing's going to stop you. Because you have to fully jump in or you don't. You can't be like, let me dip a toe in. Maybe let me put like a little bit of my arm in. Either you fully in or you not. You don't get a taste and a bite. You in or you out. That's really all it is.
And so the idea that there needs to be something stronger, and those two things are, yes, there is a positive thing that compels you. It is a reward, but it's not in this lifetime. It's in heaven, right? So that I 100% agree that is one of the things that compel you.
No,
but
doesn't the Bible talk about the kingdom coming to earth?
You are still talking about a reward that comes after death.
No, there is a kingdom coming to earth.
Go
That's
ahead
in
and
Revelation.
tell us about
We just
this
read all
kingdom
that.
coming to earth.
We just
So
read all that.
we won't experience it in this lifetime. We have no idea. Maybe in the future, yeah. Everybody, there's going to be in the Book of Revelation to talk about the rapture. Everything will fall away, right? And it's going to be us abiding with the. Maybe I'm bringing up something that's not non-congruent with the conversation, but I think it speaks to the character of the message of the Bible, right? Or it speaks to the end result is the earth will be redeemed, so the kingdom can abide upon earth against the prince of the air, which is Satan. So I think we should mostly talk about Satan, not hell. That's what I'm trying to say, especially when we're talking amongst unbelievers.
Okay, we just read this together, I believe, in part 1 of this. Because I read both Revelation verses to you when they were like, hell's not a thing or something. I brought up both Revelation verses. So what he's talking about is when it's time, like when we all go down to Sheol, and if you're on the side, that's basically going to hell, lake of fire and brimstone, and then the other side is paradise. Okay, that's where you're going to be kicking it until everything kicks off in Revelations. And once all that starts kicking off and we start going our ways, right? Some going to be judged to go into the fire. The rest of us is going to be in that New Jerusalem city that I described. I think that was in Revelation. I think that was Revelation 21. Because I read 20 and 21, but I think I read 21 first and then I read 20. That's what he's trying to talk about right now. But remember, this guy runs a church.
I think we as a church have failed in the aspect of our politics with each other, the way we treated one another, and the way that we pushed hell more than the love of God. Not saying that we can't do
Not
both,
really.
but it's been more hell
Not really.
than the relationship with God. God came to earth to establish relationship with man, and there is a
disagree.
repeat,
When's the last time you heard a sermon
repeated
about
rejection
hell?
of
When's
God.
the last time you heard a
Man has
sermon about
rejected
hell
God.
being preached?
Wait. Can I cut in
Facts.
between the two of you?
Before she talks, I'm with Don. My whole life, from a kid up until now, I've heard hell spoken about once. And I was probably like around 9 or 10 or something. I was super young. My whole life, I've never heard pastors talk about hell. I have heard pastors talk the prosperity gospel and pass that collection plate around a bazillion times for the few churches I went to when I was younger, which completely turned me off of Christianity. I've heard and seen that side of it. I've never heard a pastor talk about hell or hit a sermon with hell. If anything, there's actually an article I read with a study to go with it not too long ago where preachers are actually scared to talk about it. And a lot of them are even scared to talk about Revelation in church because they don't want to scare people away from joining or staying in the congregation. Now, how wild is that? Yet this man gonna sit here and be like, we talk about it too much. Remember, this guy runs a church. Don't even know the story of Job. I have like 5 months of knowledge, and I could probably run the church about the same level or better as he's running it right now. That's sad. That is sad. I ain't even gonna front. I probably know more than this guy because we've checked him in all 3 parts so far. So my knowledge level probably higher than his. And he was self-proclaimed to have been a Christian his whole life. Bruh, miss me.
Go ahead.
Because Don, whether you realize it or not, what you asked Destiny earlier when you said, shouldn't the existence of hell be enough of a motivator to believe in God? It's called Pascal's wager. So hold on. So I could pose to you, what if you're wrong about Islam? Shouldn't you believe in Allah?
No, because I believe in Christianity because the evidence suggests that Christianity is true. So my final thing that I would like to say is at the end of the day, we're all going to die. After we die, the Bible suggests that we will be judged. You'll either go to heaven or hell. If you would like compelling evidence to tell you whether or not the Bible is true or not, I highly recommend you read the book More Than a Carpenter, written by an atheist trying to debunk Christianity and found his way to God. Or you can read Cold Case Christianity if you genuinely want to test Christianity. That's it.
That's fine.
Go ahead, check it out.
Dope. All right. What did y'all think? Like, if you actually sat here and watched all 3 parts of this, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'm actually curious to hear, because I know a lot of times I don't get back to everybody, and that's honestly because YouTube Studio don't even be showing me everybody's comments, because they don't all come in as notifications. I don't know why. YouTube, fix it now. But I'm just like really curious, and I like reading y'all points of views. You ain't even gotta agree with me, but I do like reading what a lot of you have to say a lot of times. So just let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video, and to stay up to date with everything I do, always check the community tabs right here on my channel. And until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sang.